Oof, and don't drop it. So why would you pick up this board? Well, you pick up this board if you want the best of the best of X570 and you really don't care how much it costs. That's it. You can stop watching. Hey guys, it's Stan and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at this brand new motherboard. This is the Asus ROG Crosshair VIII Extreme for AM4. This is the X570 brand new motherboard that, well, honestly is kind of late to the party, but we'll talk about that as we get this thing unboxed. You know, one of the things I really disliked is the Asus Roman numeral numbering nomenclature. It's like Crosshair number extreme or Maximus number extreme, right? It's so confusing. We're up to 8 for the Crosshair, and it was like 13 for Maximus for the Intel platform. I really do like how they went to the chipset now finally, so with the new Alder Lake, that's Maximus Z690 Extreme. So it's so much easier to remember. Anyway, I digress. This is the Crosshair, so this is going to be for AMD and for the AM4 and X570 motherboard. And you know, you might be wondering, why are we even talking about X570? X570 has been out since forever now, and why is Asus releasing a brand new motherboard? And indeed, this is very late to the party. This Extreme motherboard is, I mean, we're at the very end of X570 here. We're probably going to get a 6000 series early 2022, but then late 2022 we're going to be going into AM5, Zen 4, whatever new platform that is. So this is a very delayed product, but at the same time it is the tippy top best X570 board you're going to be able to buy. This and maybe the X570 Dark from EVGA, but that's another motherboard. So this is for people who are looking to upgrade to Zen 3 5000 series motherboard or CPUs, and then maybe 6000 series CPUs once they do come out. Anyway, I actually had to clear this table a little bit, and when I was clearing this table, I actually noticed that this right here, this is the Zenith 2 Extreme motherboard box, and it is actually smaller than the Crosshair 2 or Crosshair 13, Crosshair 7, 8 Extreme motherboard box. It's surprising because the Zenith 2 Extreme for Threadripper is a huge motherboard, but it seems like the box is actually bigger here than that. Just a random little observation. If you've had a Asus motherboard in the past few years, you'll probably recognize a lot of these things. You have the Republic of Gamers little screwdriver that they like to include. This is an aluminum, I want to say this is an aluminum screwdriver. It's kind of nice actually. You get the DAC. This is a USB Type-C DAC to your headphone. This is an external DAC. You can use it with this motherboard. You can actually use it with other computers as well, if that's your thing. You're given 2 additional pieces here. This right here, this is, you probably have seen this before. This is the DIMM.2 for your 2 M.2 SSDs. You can install in here. So you have 2 here and then 3 more that you can install on the motherboard. Let me put that away because I only got 2 M.2s. I don't actually need this right now. Now you do also get a fan controller module. This has, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RGB headers, and then you got, or actually 7 RGB headers, and then you got the power in from a SATA connector. I'm not actually sure what power adapter. Anyway, this is an internal fan header, fan module that you would probably mount into your computer, as if you didn't have enough fan headers and RGB headers on the motherboard already. So if you're looking to make a huge build, that's kind of what that's for one of those very big cases with all the RGB unicorn colors. You get some, this is pretty standard here. This is going to be the ROG antenna, the Asus ROG antenna that you get on a lot of their motherboards. This is going to be Wi-Fi 6E capable. and you've got two connectors. So yes, this is a two-way, so this is going to be screwed into the back of the motherboard. What I do like about this one is that it is attached. There's a lot of antennas that came, for example, with the Crosshair Impact, that came in two pieces that you have to actually assemble together. This looks like it's one piece, and I want to say this is magnetic, right? Yeah, it's magnetic. So it will stick to anything that has metal in it. And if your case is fully aluminum, you can probably put some double-sided tape on this and it will also work. And then we got two more compartments. This has got to be the instruction manual. Yep, okay. And then a layer below that. So instruction manuals, this is the standard instruction manuals, some warranty information, ROG fan, controller information, and then some stickers that you always get from ROG. And then you also have this little card that kind of just says, welcome to Asus ROG. So all of this stuff goes in here. Honestly, we'll probably never look at it. If you ever do need to get the manual, you can always download that, and that's usually what I always do. I really do like how they include these days instead of having the CD. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 3, no, actually no, 2, 4, 6. SATA cables, if you're still running SATA drives, most likely you're going to be on M.2, and again, as I said, you have 5 M.2 slots, so that's going to be plenty. This is going to be a splitter for your RGB LEDs. So you got one in, and then a couple out. There's nothing fancy. There's no add-in board. There's no front 5.5-inch bay. You know, they kind of got away and did away with a lot of that stuff here. So, oh, actually, this is kind of interesting. You got the lanyard, or keyring, lanyard, whatever. And then this right here, this is the graphics card holder. So you can check that out. Or a graphics card sag anti-retention clip, so it kind of pushes up the graphics card from the bottom here. And you can see. And then, so if you have a 3090, for example, you could push it up if it's sagging on you. Oof, don't drop it. So why would you pick up this board? Well, you pick up this board if you want the best of the best of X570 and you really don't care how much it costs. That's it. You can stop watching. But I kid. So what you really get is a very well built X570 board, and one of the more interesting things about the X570, so this is an X570S board. The S means that it is the newer revision of the chipset. If you recall, up until, for the last 3 years now, X570, has it been 3 years? 2.5, 3 years, something like that. For the longest time, X570 has had a fan on the chipset because it gets really hot. And I think it was like earlier this year, 2021, AMD came out with the brand new X570S chipset without the fan because it's probably a newer lithography and it's less power consumption because X570 has been around for so long now. PCIe 5.0 or PCIe 4.0 isn't all that hard to drive anymore. So that's what you get here. The board has a lot of aluminum. You have a big chunk of aluminum up here for the VRMs, the big chunk here, and big chunk down here. So in this right here, this is where one of your M.2 SSDs reside. You can also remove this big chunk of aluminum here. Sometimes this looks a little bit plasticky, depending on some of the boards. This one, however, does actually look pretty good, aluminum, and then you got plastic down here. No, I actually take that back. You know, you certainly can remove this plastic. It doesn't look like you're supposed to remove this right here. So you got one M.2 SSD here, one M.2 SSD here, and it looks like you got another one right underneath here. So maybe you're actually not supposed to remove this chunk of aluminum. There are no M.2s on the back. You do have a really nice backplate, metal backplate. This is gonna be steel, right? This is steel. And nothing else here. No additional switches. On the side here, you do have a LED strip. What else? Power connectors. You have two 8-pin power connectors. These are the Pro Cool power connectors. That's what Asus calls them. They're the shielded ones, and they've got the solid pins, solid 8 pins in them. And then you have the 24 pin on the side. The 24 pin are also solid. So the 24 pin and the 6 pin. In fact, all of the power connectors are solid now. Solid connectors, which are nice. As you can see, the 24 pin and the 6 pin are 90 degrees, or come out from the side. So that's really going to help with the cable routing if you have cables like come in from the side. So that's nice. And then also your SATA, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SATAs down here. And then you've got, I want to say this is what, USB, this is probably USB, right? You got a USB header here, and then you got a couple more. Are these USB 3s? Oh no, these are USB 3s, and then these got to be the 3.2 Gen 2. So 2 3.2 Gen 2 headers, and then 2 USB 3.0 headers. And then fan headers. Let's see, you got 1, 2 fan headers, 3 fan headers up top, 1, 2 down here. This is going to be the pump. These are the white fan connectors. So this is for your full power pump. 2 RGB connectors down here, your front panel connector. A couple switches. These are going to be pretty high-end overclocking, slow mode, LN2 type switches. So most of you guys aren't really going to be using that, honestly. On the right-hand side, you got your Supreme FX sound card. This is going to be the 8082. This is the ROG Supreme FX ALC 4082. I nearly forgot. This right here, this is an OLED display, very similar to, actually similar to all of the Asus motherboards. They have an OLED display on them, and this is going to be showing you all sorts of stats like CPU temperature, GPU temperature, and it's configurable to show you whatever you want. As for I/O here, this is going to be all the I/O that you'll possibly need. It's got everything from 10 gigabit Ethernet to 2.5 gigabit Ethernet DisplayPort in, and then you got all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 USB Type A connections, and these are the 10 gigabit Ethernet or 10 gigabit USB connections. You also have 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB 4 connectors as well, and then your sound, and then you also have an optical output for that. Naturally, you're going to have BIOS flashback and clear CMOS, and then the Wi-Fi connections as well. So this is basically as complete as it gets. Now, if you follow this channel, you know that I had a build here that had a 5950X, and this is the water-cooled build. In the end, I actually never ended up using it, and what I'm going to be doing is transferring that CPU over to here and then throwing this into my main system, and I'm going to be retiring the Threadripper system. I just don't need that kind of power, and the single-threaded performance of the 5950X is much better than the Zen 2-based Threadripper I've got over there. So that's kind of why I bought this, and hence why I'm unboxing and showing you guys this motherboard. Anyway, if you want to see that build or the rest of that conversion, whatever, make sure to subscribe. And if you got any questions about this motherboard, go ahead and comment down below. I'll try to answer whatever questions you got. And if you want to see this motherboard in the build, again, look out for that video. Anyway, my name is Stan, and I'll see you guys in the next one.